articles saying, hey, maybe this with the blockchain may be a way for the government to find a way to help us attack our debt issue.
Yeah, so I gave a speech on stablecoins about a month ago, and one thing that I did was I compared it to the global savings glut that former Federal Reserve Chairman Ben Bernanke talked about 20, 25 years ago. And what happened in the global savings glut was that these predominantly Asian countries were recycling their very large trade surpluses into the United States, right? And so rather than allowing their currencies to appreciate, they intervened in the currency markets, and with that intervention, they went out and they bought, U.S. dollar, treasury securities, agency securities, in order to keep the values of their currencies low. But this inflow into the U.S. dollar markets really had a strong effect keeping interest rates in the United States reduced. Now, stablecoins may ultimately have a similar effect because if you think about it, Genius Act payment stablecoins, as currently stipulated, they don't offer yield and they don't offer deposit insurance. So, therefore, the advantage of a stablecoin, if you're a U.S. based investor, or you're in a country with free and open capital markets that you can get access to U.S. dollar savings vehicles like a money market fund or a treasury bill or a bank account, the advantage of stablecoins is, it's not huge, right? It's roughly comparable to those vehicles. But if you're in a country with capital controls, you can't get access to dollar savings vehicles no matter what, or you're in a country with very limited banking services because you're very rural and far from an ability to actually get banked, then stablecoins offer potentially a very powerful advantage. They give you access to dollar savings vehicles that you wouldn't otherwise have because either reasons of geography or because the state is keeping you from doing so. So, given that, I expect most of the growth in stablecoins to come from abroad, right? It'll be partial, it'll be very significant inflows, if the forecasts prove accurate, into dollar savings vehicles that are ultimately backed by treasury bills, backed by bank reserves, backed by means of saving, really low volatility means of savings in U.S. dollar vehicles. It'll be flows into that from the rest of the world. And that's why it'll mimic the effects of the global savings glut that we had 20, 25 years ago. Now, the numbers that I put in that speech are that it could be about a third of the size of the global savings glut. So that could be a material downward pressure on interest rates as a result.
I ordered a massive strike on the terrorists that killed our 3 great patriots last week. 2 soldiers, 1 interpreter, all great people. And it was very successful. It was precision. We hit every site flawlessly, and we are restoring peace through strength. We're all over the world.
Welcome back. Well, the U.S. approving an $11 billion arms package for Taiwan. This is the largest ever from the U.S. to Taiwan as it faces increased military pressure from Communist China. Taiwan will purchase rocket systems, drones, and anti-tank missiles and others after boosting its defense spending by $40 billion. The president of Taiwan is warning that Beijing plans to seize the island by 2027. That's the Davidson window, as we've talked about, 2027. China Ministry of Foreign Affairs says this: by aiding Taiwan's independence through arms sales, the U.S. will only end up harming itself. Any attempt to use Taiwan to contain China is doomed to fail, says the Chinese Ministry of Foreign Affairs. New images from the Taiwan Straits show China's most advanced aircraft carrier passing through the Taiwan Strait earlier this week.
Welcome to the Cryptoteacher.
Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel.
And I come back with that video just to make you think. And make sure you join the Patrons. If you're not a part of the Patrons, make sure you're hitting the Cash App. Also, go like and follow the TikTok. More videos to come. And we have Stephen Marn on stablecoins. Was asked about stablecoins can attack the debt. And of course, he doesn't answer the question. And don't forget, he was one of the helpers of Project 2025 and was an advocate for a restructuring of the global trading system, which we're seeing right in front of our eyes. And that's the reason why he only talked about the emerging markets, because due to inflation, they had to turn to these stable coins. And now that the machines are about to rise, and a lot of Americans are going to be out of work, they're going to be bringing in that universal basic income. We know it's problem, reaction, solution. And the solution was already ready 10, 20 years ago. And remember, the Cryptoteacher told you. And we have Trump getting the United States ready for Armageddon. The drums are beating. And we've been handing out weapons left and right. to create the two sides. We know what's about to happen. Unfortunately, the sheep stay asleep on things that don't matter. But make sure you're getting yourselves prepared. You've had plenty of time. And we have Trump just taking oil tankers. And then on top of it, strikes in Syria. We know eventually something's going to hit the homeland. But it's part of the plan. We've seen this movie too many times. And China is definitely going to go inside of Taiwan. We know that for a fact. Trump had already admitted it, but he stated that Xi wouldn't go in until after he leaves. And remember, you're witnessing the fall of America to Babylon, along with the United States dollar and the rise of the BRICS nations led by China, with that digital yuan backed by that digital SDR. And remember, the Cryptoteacher told you. And remember, your life is an illusion and TV is your reality. We have Congress wants private citizens to seize property of the cartel. Yes, you can't make this stuff up. You only see this in the movies. You know, there'll be false flags all over the place. And remember, the Cryptoteacher told you, because he knows. When it comes to the NWO, it's all planned out. You have a wonderful day.
Before, this is Admiral Davidson, Philip Davidson, who said it is likely that Beijing goes into Taiwan in 2027. And that's what Taiwan is saying as well. What do you make of this most recent aggression with China in the Taiwan Strait and telling the U.S. not to help Taiwan in any way?
Well, China was always going to complain about any arms package, but this is a very important package, as you point out. And really what it shows, Maria, is that President Trump is not afraid of the Chinese. We know this also because Trump has been surging military assets into the Taiwan Strait and as well nearby Japan. We now have 2 carrier strike groups in the region. Now, President Trump gets a lot of credit for going after China hard, but he is losing the information war because he doesn't believe it's important. And the Chinese are being able to tar him and basically say to the rest of the world that Trump is afraid of the Chinese. And unfortunately, that narrative is taking hold not only around the world, but in the United States itself. But when you look at the reality, President Trump is going after China across the board.
Yeah, he really is. Look, I've talked a lot on this program about rob, replicate, replace. That is what John Ratcliffe told me a long time ago, is the MO of China: rob, replicate, replace on Western companies. Well, this next story is really unbelievable. China's newest artificial intelligence companies, called, ready for this, MetaX. That's the name of the company, MetaX. And the other one, of course, as you know, is More Threads. Both surged in recent IPO debuts on the Shanghai Stock Exchange. MetaX claims that the performance of the C500 chip series is similar to NVIDIA's H200 chip. President Trump recently allowed the sale of those NVIDIA chips to Beijing, although the most advanced chips are still restricted. Your thoughts on these two companies? And I just think it's, it's an embarrassment. They named the company MetaX.
China joining the WTO in 2001 was probably one of the most consequential decisions, not just for China's economy, but for the world economy.
The WTO agreement will move China in the right direction.
So companies could shift there and both tap into the Chinese market and, of course, export from China to the rest of the world. The Belt and Road positioned China as someone who was willing to invest and a source of new capital at a time when capital was becoming scarcer. They invested into ports, they invested into rail networks, they invested into motorways. Well, China has been a victim of its own economic success in so many ways. As China moved up the value chain, then it became a threat to some of those Western economies that had been doing business with China in the first place.
We've been ripped off by China.
No longer are the doors just open for free two-way trade. China had the virus under control, so they took opportunity and really took a leap in terms of electric vehicles and in lithium batteries in particular. Clearly, that window was when the rest of the world was caught napping. China was doing just fine. It wasn't until later when China started to impose restrictions on its real estate sector and its real estate sector started to slow down that you began to see some of the brakes being hit on China's economy.
The problem being that home buyers are afraid to buy homes, worried about distressed developers not being able to deliver on the homes a year later.
The slump has been going on for several years now, and I think it has taken some of the gloss off of China's economy for the rest of the world.
Tim Burchett and Mike Lee hope so. They're introducing bills to both the House and the Senate, respectively. The president would issue a letter of marque, which lets private citizens act against U.S. enemies and seize property, something that has not been done for over 200 years. And it's already gained support from Elon Musk, who says, quote, it would work super well.
Going to a different economy, and we're going to be learning more about that as we go, but clearly we're learning that things can be done from remote locations. We're learning that technology can replace people even more than we thought.
We're not going back to the same economy. We're recovering, but to a different economy, and it'll be one that is more leveraged to technology. And I worry that that is going to make it even more difficult than it was for many workers.
In Silicon Valley, and my friends who work in technology know that what we did to the manufacturing workers, we are now going to do to the retail workers, the call center workers, the fast food workers, the truck drivers, and then even bookkeepers, accountants, insurance agents, lawyers, and on through the economy. So what happened to the manufacturing workers is a very clear sign.
And so we'll import Chinese-based CBDC technology. So it's going to be CBDC in a box provided to you by the People's Bank of China.
But every stock, every bond, every currency, every commodity, every piece of art, every private business, every piece of real estate will eventually be a token on a blockchain, an entry on a ledger, permanent and immutable. We will have truth instead of trust, and we will save over $7 trillion a year. 6 to 8% of global GDP is wasted by the friction of the trust industry that's necessary when you have dual entry accounting. With triple entry accounting, which is what a blockchain is, we get rid of all of that friction. It's a beautiful future.
Like what you see in China and their social credit scoring systems, right? If we get identity wrong, it could be a tool to enslave humanity. And if we get it right, it could be a tool to liberate humanity. And as an American, I'm obviously rooting for the one that's on the side of freedom.
Bitcoin is an international asset. And also, I do believe the role of crypto is it's digitizing gold.
I actually believe this technology is going to be very important. Look at it. We have been part of a huge revolution in investing through ETFs. We believe that ETFs will be changing the whole way we invest. Many people still use it as a means, people are investing it for indexing. No, the majority of people who are putting money in in ETFs are active investors that are buying exposure. The entire bond market is being transformed as we talk right now. I believe the next generation for markets, the next generation for securities will be tokenization of securities. And if we could have that distributed ledger that we know every beneficial owner, every beneficial seller, we all have our code of who's buying, who's selling, instantaneous settlement. And think about it, it changes the whole ecosystem.
Chinese bank ICBC has been hit by a ransomware attack, and the U.S. Treasury market, as a result of that, has been disrupted. This, according to the Financial Times. We're getting it more right now with Bloomberg's Shonali Bassick. Shonali, what do we know?
Listen, we have the Financial Times now reporting that ICBC, one of China's largest banks here, was hit with a ransomware attack. And remember, they're a very significant intermediary in the Treasury market. The SIFMA has told its members that this has been part of the reason here that the system is kind of clogged up, if you will, during that auction that we saw a little bit before. The attack had prevented ICBC, according to the Financial Times, from settling Treasury trades on behalf of other market participants. A large executive at a major bank also telling the paper that such a large party on the fixed income clearing corp creates major concerns, potentially impacting the liquidity of Treasury markets.
Now, it was not just a poor auction.
It was absolutely lousy, and you know, when the dealers have to step in to save a treasury auction, that's a rare occurrence. And
Cryptoteacher and the New World Order book, plus the 3 kids books, It's Time to Re-Educate. Also, new to cryptos, Coinbase, Bitrue, Binance. Do not forget book links and crypto links are in the description. The stock channel, guys. Don't forget to go like, subscribe, spread everywhere. You have your Kobo, your chip stocks, your banking, your gaming. While everybody's sitting at home, get home stocks, the Seaver, the biotech stocks. And while everybody's at home wishing they were still getting that free money, what are they doing? Drinking and smoking weed. Don't forget about those stocks, and you have a wonderful day. The most powerful person in the world is the storyteller. The storyteller sets the vision, values, and agenda of an entire generation to come. Steve Jobs. And guys, you know I truly believe in this. When you look at the New World Order, they're the storytellers. And that's the reason why I wrote my New World Order book. But guys, now it's time to change the current generation. And I wrote 3 kids books. You know I love the Trinity because I understand the power that's in it. So I have 3 books. We have an opportunity to change the generation, to educate, not just me, but I want to show you that I take action on a daily basis. And I want you to take action on a daily basis. Whether it's your job, whether it's in your community, we have an opportunity right now to educate the masses. I posted this on my Twitter account. Please share, but this is a short clip of the 3 books. There's going to be a clothing line and action figures. Please get these books for your kids, nephews, cousins, friends, so therefore we can start the re-education now. Because as we see, the 4th Industrial Revolution foundation is definitely here. Robots, algorithms, drones, taking humanity out the picture. We have to re-educate. But let's get into the video.
Part 1. King Joshua and Drama Tam save the village. Part 2. King Joshua and Drama Tam save New York from COVID Stories 3. Part 3. King Joshua and Drama Tam goes to China.
It's mandatory to get part 1, part 2, and part 3 of this series. It's time to re-educate Generation Z.